Hello, hello. We continue with the Christocentric gospel, and it is part 116. Part 116. The gospel is too good to be good. It is too good to be good. You know what I'm doing? I am actually reintroducing Jesus because the Jesus that we were believing had been introduced to us in a wrong way. And most churches today are shrines. It's a place where people can go and get some power to get riches. And that's why people are taking advantage of that. And then they go and get some powers. They go and get some powers and then are cheating people. And so now, Matthew 1:21, Jesus came to save humanity from sin nature. He didn't come to give us money. You can get money without God. You can get money without Jesus. A lot of people are rich without Jesus. So it's not about money. But you know what? When you have Jesus, you have everything. You have money, you have the peace to eat the money. And so you see, according to Hebrews 10, verse 7, the whole Bible is the book of Christ. It's the book of Jesus. Because you can't see him in the Old Testament because he's a mystery. He is in shadows. He is taught in types and rituals. And the Old Testament, God was only dealing with a nation. But after the cross, he's now dealing with the whole world. And the whole world is not required to do any law, but to believe what Jesus did for us. And the moment you believe in what he did, and then he will enter into you and change your nature, and then direct you from within. A true church, the firstborn, church of the firstborn. A true church is birthed by the firstborn. Hebrews 12, verse 23. Jesus, the firstborn from the dead. The firstborn. No one has ever come out of hell except Jesus. He rose from the dead. And he is giving birth to people who do not die. He is giving people who is like him, who is like God. And the moment you believe the gospel, that's the requirement. The moment you believe what he did on the cross, when he went on the cross, he died for me, and he was in labor in hell. He was in travail, so as to give birth to sons. And so now he is the ancestor of the sons of God. The day that he rose from the dead, for 40 days he was training the disciples. And as he was training them, he said, you must wait until I come back in the form of the Spirit. Because we are talking of one God who created a Trinity so as to save us. Trinity was created so as to save humanity from sin. He is God in creation. He is Christ as a human being to redeem us. He became a sacrifice. He became a propitiation. Jesus is our propitiation. And as Jesus of Nazareth, he could not enter into my heart. But when he rose from the dead, he is a man, even today. He is a man, spirit, soul, and body. And he is the one that I'm preaching about. He is all, a model of sons of God, an ancestor of the church, the ancestor. And that's why, as a true believer, you are not followed by ancestral spirits. Why? Because I have new genes. I have a new nature. I have new blood. See? And so now, this Jesus, who is now my ancestor, he is the bridegroom of the bride. But you must know that there is something like a church, but it's not a church. It's an imitation. They also have Bibles. They also have buildings. And they have uniforms. And they sing about Jesus. And most of the churches, they become entertainers. It's an entertainment center. They entertain people. And this is what people like. People like entertainment. They like dancing, you see. But it's not in the dancing, you see. It's not about going there. Oh, I'm going to the church. What are they preaching? Are they preaching Jesus or money? What are they preaching? What are they preaching? Because God has put power in a message. And if the message, the gospel is twisted or is mixed, it won't save you. And that's why you find in a church things that are happening in the church, you have never seen them. Because that's not a church. It's a shrine or entertainment center. So you must be careful. Because churches like that are called hallowed church. A hallowed church. You know what a hallowed does? A harlot is so many men. She moves from one man to another. And that's why you find they go to this prophet, they move, and then to another, they move. And those are not believers. They are power seekers, money seekers. I am talking of a true church which has purchased by God, called out from sin, called out from death, called out from hell. We no longer go to hell. A true church has no relationship with hell. Will never go there. Has no relationship with sin, because between him or between the church and God, Jesus is the intercessor. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 5. Jesus is the intercessor. He is ever interceding for the church. Hebrews 7:25. He lives today to intercede for the church, so as to save me to the uttermost, to save me eternally. Uttermost is eternal. Salvation is eternal because it's a birth. There is no temporal birth. Birth, birthed by the Spirit, birthed by the Word, birthed by God, birthed by Jesus. Yes. And so now, be careful of the hallowed church. You may be going to a hallowed church. How do you know it? Through what they preach. And when they preach, some power happens there. But some of the power that happens there, most of the power that happens there is of the devil. It's a cheat. So now, Revelation 5 verse 9, the true church was drawn from every color, every nation, every people, blue, white, yellow, black, everybody. That's the true church. I'm not talking of outward man. You know, a man is a spirit who has a soul and lives in the body. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking about the real you, me. The one who is speaking is inside. Now, the one who is speaking right to you right now is that church. Church is not building. And so that man inside is the one who was purchased by the blood, is the one who now is owned by God and sealed by God. And he is like God. And 1 Peter 2:9, 1 Peter 2:9, the true church is the gene of God. That's why the church is called the new generation. The new generation, a type of a people who are priests and kings, having the righteousness of God, having the power of God, having the authority of God. You see? Because Jesus dwells in these people and amongst them. The true church contains Jesus inside their hearts and amongst them. And unless people are saved by the gospel, they cannot be true churches. They can only be shrines or entertainment centers. I don't want us to do that. Let us believe the gospel so that we may become true churches. Believe Jesus. Whether you are in your bedroom or whether you are somewhere or at your workplace, as you are hearing the gospel, the only thing that is required of you is to believe the gospel, to believe his death, to believe his burial, and to believe his resurrection, and to say, come into me, and he will enter into you, and never to come out, and give you eternal life. You don't want to die without eternal life. No. You have to die with eternal life, and you are done. God bless you.